you know, and I know, and they know, and we know, we go all in, you know, and I know, and they know, cause we know, we go all in.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the newest edition of What You've Been Missing. You are now listening to the All Dressed Up podcast, episode 89. And do me a favor, hide your crab legs. Yeah, I'm down talking with your boy Kiiddddsss DC to my side over here. Tell them who you are, baby. Tell them who you are.
Man, what's good, Kiiddddsss DC? What's good, world? It's your boy Health Streams, man. We are back. It's the All Dressed Up podcast, episode 88 or 89.
89, baby. It's 89.
Yeah, let's get it going. So while everybody piles on in and comes on in and checks us out live, and we do what we do each and every first and third Sunday. Kiiddddsss, how you been, bro?
I've been fantastic, man. Everything is love. Love is everything. We moving and shaking. We seeing some progress, seeing big things coming down the road. What I want to talk about before we go any further, okay? What are we on? Are we on episode 3, 4, 7, or is it only just 2 of the Climbback series? It's killing the game.
Man, right now, man, we just finished up putting out episode 2 with my guy Chris Davis, man. Thank you very much to Chris and rolling with episode 1. But it's the Climbback series. If you haven't heard us talk about it, it's a series that I came up with to focus on, people's individual stories. People talk about what they've been through, how resilient they were, just going through maybe some jail time, some loss, some trials and tribulations, but the inspiration is how they fought back and climbed back, and that's what it's about. Speaking of climbing back, what up, Sal Joseph?
What
How
up,
you doing, big
Sal?
bro?
Sal, I can't, I don't even have the right words for you. But let me put this on with Sal right now, man. We talk about the Climbback series, man. You can check it at Have Streams Media, YouTube /Have Streams Media. You see it right here, posted up. That Climbback series 1 and 2. They're good shows. Please check it out. I'm putting it on screen.
Got more episodes coming, man. We definitely have a lot more people that we're gonna be featuring so they can tell their stories. And I'm telling you, Kiiddddsss, a lot of it gets deep, man. So stay tuned, check it out. I'm proud of it. I think you guys will like it. And let me know what you think. I think you might have just muted. Did you mute? So as you guys know, we are live. I think Kiiddddsss will hit a button on his side, but I can't hear him at the moment. But until he gets back on, the Climbback series, is something I'm definitely proud of. I know my man Kiidddss's been rocking with 14th ENT over the past couple of months. He's been really working on putting some new content out. I see he's been streaming, so definitely find Kiiddddsss DC on all platforms as well. But just like each and every Sunday, we're gonna talk a little bit about the NFL and roundup this week before we get the show going, because we got a good show. We got a fun show set up for us this evening. I'm gonna be talking about some deep stuff, but how about them Cowboys, man? I tell you, as Cowboys just get some audio back, whenever the Commanders get their ass whooped, the only thing that can help me feel better about it is if the Cowboys get their ass whooped, man. So what's good, Kiidddssss?
Sam is not the man. Sam is not the man. He's going in on your Commanders right
Hey, man, Sam Howell had his welcome to the NFL moment. I didn't expect the Bills to do what they did as bad as they did today, but it was one of those situations where I think they left the defense hanging. Speaking of Sam Howell and all those turnovers and sacks that he was taking, I mean, the defense came out motivated, but after a while, it was like, how many times we're going to come out here and stop these guys for what? I mean, the offense wasn't moving the ball. They weren't putting points on the board, and I really don't know what happened. I don't know if they're going to turn it around And we're gonna see what the young man has as far as his fortitude, because taking an ass whooping like that, he might be looking over his shoulder to Jacoby Brissett very soon.
Well, you got to remember, that he is young in the game. He doesn't have a lot of experience, and so when you put a defensive coordinator in front of him that can put that pressure on him and cover on the backside, when he has to make those decisions under duress, you're going to see those mistakes being made. It doesn't matter how well the game can be called via Eric Bieniemy. You're going to have still that inexperience to say, "Hey, let me drop it down and take what they give me." A lot of the guys this year have been having issues taking what the defense gives them, and that's where they're finding those turnovers and those having those issues. There were a lot of couple balls that he threw up, he shouldn't have threw up, which would turn into interceptions.
But he's gotta get rid of the ball too, K Dizzle. I mean, the boy holds the ball back there like he's got 10 seconds to throw the ball every down. Like, it's crazy. You gotta
Well,
get the ball out.
well, you got to hold it until you have somebody open. Otherwise, you got to figure it out. You got to throw it away, or you got to run forward to make some yards. But he didn't have those opportunities. So look, like I said, I knew that who was the first two games. It was Arizona, and then it was who was the second game you guys played?
Remember,
Denver. It's Arizona and Denver. Denver is struggling with an identity. Arizona was their first game out the woodwork, and you guys were having
Denver gave up 70 points today, man.
so
So
Denver,
I don't even know where to start with Denver. You got Sean Payton out there getting hired like he was supposed to be the savior. And just like I told everybody, man, I just, take the attention off my commanders, but they didn't show up this week. It's one of those weeks, man.
Denver.
Denver got routed. And I've been telling you guys about the Tua train. Hop on the Tua train now because the boy's going for MVP. He's already well in the lead after the first 3 weeks of the regular season, man, because the numbers that they put up are crazy. And our fantasy
Is
teams,
he at 2,000 yards already?
I don't know. He might be at 20 touchdowns already. I
I
know
know they had 700 yards of offense today.
I
So
know our fantasy teams, it's funny, coincidentally, Kiiddddsss DC and have streams are matching up this week in fantasy. Shit, you had Monster and I had Tyreek Hill.
yeah, yeah. So most have put up 48 points, which is like absurd numbers. And that's a once in a lifetime thing. I think nobody scored 70 points in like what was it? 50 years? Something like
Man, Madden.
that. 50, 60 years.
Madden on a Thursday afternoons. Last time I seen 70 points, man. But
Man,
it's one of those seasons, man. I don't really see a front runner like we thought coming in. I mean, I saw some glimmers of greatness in Philly, but I see some weakness there.
mhm.
I've seen the 49ers look good, but also I see some faint airs in their game as well, man. So I'm not all in on one team just yet. Last week I was feeling myself. I was thinking about coming out with like a some type of segment of like Hef's locks or Hef's picks or something, right? Because I posted five teams that were locks last week,
You
and I
did?
hit it. Yeah, man. I put it up, put it on IG before the game started. One of those wins with the Giants when they came back and actually beat Arizona. So took FanDuel for bad last week, but just like all gambling can come back around. They got back on me this week, cracked
Yeah.
my head because the Ravens, man. What happens to the Ravens at home today in overtime? Are the Ravens? Are they for real?
We talked about how great the Ravens will be with all the pieces to the puzzle, but doesn't matter if your pieces aren't playing, right? You
No,
make
sir, I
your
didn't
field goal parlay. Doesn't matter if your pieces aren't playing. It is game three, and Odell Beckham Jr. is not in the lineup.
already.
So you got to remember those things. We put our money out there to bring these great players in, and if they're not in the game to be the game changing agent that they're supposed to be, it's going to be the same thing that you have.
No, that's a good point, K Dizzle. And it's funny you say that because they go out there and they pretend as if Odell Beckham was going to be the savior for Lamar Jackson
Right.
to have some type of phenomenal offensive, passing season. And I just think that that's BS, man, because Odell Beckham hasn't shown the ability to stay on the field.
Correct.
And Lamar gets his contract, and right now they're dealing with the woes of, their running backs are going down left and right. I
Mhm.
think even Gus today might be getting checked for a concussion. So definitely going to see, what Baltimore can do. The coaching staff and the front office typically does a good job, but I'm looking forward to next week, man. Before we leave the NFL, I know the Eagles got the Commanders next week. What would you see as being the game that you're focusing on next week, bro?
The game that I'm focusing on next week, we said we were going to look at this. I think
Yeah, let's start a prediction, even though we come on the Sunday after.
I think the Minnesota Vikings stay winless.
You ain't drinking that Kirk Cousin Kool-Aid.
No, not at all. The Minnesota Vikings stay winless, and they are playing the Carolina Panthers at home.
Oh man,
They stay winless.
goodness gracious.
Yeah, the Minnesota Vikings stay winless because Justin Jefferson is also being checked out. So a lot going on. A lot going on. What do you have for next week?
I'm really keeping my eyes on the Patriots Cowboys matchup. Was that Arizona Cardinal win a fluke? Is Dallas going to get it back going against the Patriots, another well coached team? We shall see. But they play at 4 o'clock in Dallas, man.
If you
So
give Belichick a blueprint, blueprint, he will expound upon it. And
absolutely.
Arizona gave them a blueprint. Yeah, I think you need to see how Eagles look tomorrow night to get an idea what Eagles Commanders will look like. I have no concerns over tomorrow night because I think they're going to go in and they're going to light it up. I think we are enamored with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers team who has played Minnesota and who was in St. Louis, right? Minnesota and the Rams, wasn't it? No. Who did Tampa Bay play?
Let's see.
They played Minnesota and they played one other team. I don't think don't sit here and have me believe that they're
Pull it up and see.
a team. Who they play?
So they beat the Vikings and they beat the Bears.
The Vikings and the Bears. Okay, the Vikings and the Bears.
Opening game of the season, they beat Minnesota, and Minnesota came back home, beat the Bears by 10. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I predict the Eagles to have a big game tomorrow. I think AJ Brown's going to be the receiver on
That's what
display.
you hope. Yeah, fantasy. That's what you
I
hope.
mean,
Right?
at the end of the day, he's got to do something. But shit, I see the Eagles winning by 2 touchdowns tomorrow night. The Commanders got work to do, man. I know you guys want me to come out here and say something big and get all excited and give a great hot take and prediction, but it's a good team with a bad quarterback. I won't say he's a bad quarterback. I'll just say he's a quarterback that's going to need some work, man. So don't expect the Commanders to go anywhere this year. Like I said before, they might be a spoiler team. They could be a team that gets around 8 or 9 wins. But yeah, we'll see y'all next week. It won't be easy.
Let's pivot, right? Okay, because I'm gonna put this up, and I need some real honest answers. Okay, because our boys were 3-0 going in. Let's just be honest. The Deion Sanders effect is real. Let's address the elephant in the room. Is the team for real?
Man, at the end of the day, bro, Colorado did the damn thing. Deion Sanders has us asking this question. Kiiddddsss, just for you to put that question on the reel on the bottom of the All Dressed Up podcast, let you know Colorado something. I mean, I know that you didn't think that they were going to come out and win 10 games. Obviously, once they start playing these big, major schools like Oregon and USC next week,
Right.
it's going to be some growing pains because with college, you've got these recruits that are superstars. Like, Colorado has Shador. They've got Travis Hunter, who didn't play in this game this week. But you got to remember, 60% of their roster were a part of the debacle last year.
Right.
So not to just all of a sudden turn it around and say, oh, Colorado shouldn't be even competing in these games. They really shouldn't be. Like that game against TCU was all about energy. Because Deion Sanders showed up, they got a big win. But like you said, Prime doesn't have all the pieces yet. And Wild Boy, he hasn't had a chance to even get his recruiting on yet. So I made a joke and said half of the team, half of Oregon's players would probably be on Colorado. If Deion was there 2 years ago, all those surrounding states out there, got to be careful because if it comes down to picking between that school and Colorado over the next 5 years, I think Colorado's going to win those recruits, man. But
Mm,
that's just what I think.
mm. Here's my kicker to it, right? And Prime said it. Prime admitted took a big whooping. Um, and I've seen some other quotes online. Colorado is doing things that they've never done before, and it is all because of Deion Sanders, culture that he's growing over there, and the leadership that he's brought in. And he's making such a splash that one of the things that was said was they're coming to beat Deion, they're not coming to beat the team.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? So there's the emphasis on trying to knock back what he's trying to do or what he stands for because they don't like it because it takes the energy away from them. So
Right.
when it becomes a game of Colorado versus Oregon, who's been more successful over years, it becomes more about Colorado than it does about Oregon. And so people get pissed about that. So they get pissed about the limelight, which is definitely understandable. But Mike says, yeah, they're for real. They'll continue to show improvement and could win enough to make a smaller bowl. I would agree with that statement as well. I think they are very well coached. They've got pieces to the puzzle. They just don't have all of the D1 talent that
That's
these
it.
schools and the D1 money that these schools have had for years. So he is starting a legacy within that one school that's going to grow. It's going to go beyond him because we can talk about what he's doing in Colorado, but you got to remember what he did in Jackson State, and they're still kicking butt out there. Was anyone tired of hearing about Taylor Swift today? Yeah, that's an
Yeah,
act.
I mean, at the end of the day, who cares, man? Taylor Swift is out there visiting her boo or whatever you want to call it. Travis Kelsey out there, man. All I know is Patty Mahomes lit it up. That's what I wanted
Heard
to
this
see.
game.
I ain't care about Taylor Swift South staying out there. But look, man, Deion Sanders took Colorado by storm. He changed the face of college football. Yes, he did. Is that going to be the talk? Is that team going to be the talk over the next season or two? Absolutely, because he's going to get the recruits. You
For
know,
sure.
and I know that that roster is going to get a lot better and a lot better fast. So when they do, can they get the right schedule? Will they put themselves in a position for a major bowl? I think so. I think in 2024 we'll probably see them in one of the larger bowl games. I think it's going to come fast.
Yeah.
Just because again, Dion's got that enamored aura about him when it comes to working with the kids.
Hmm.
And that's why I hope he stays in college because his effect is going to be really at that level.
Hmm.
Because everybody looks up to his athletic ability. He's got the onus of letting the kids kind of feel themselves. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Like he's not really overcoaching when it comes to them being themselves. And I think with the type of kids that you have in today's generation, I think it's going to work.
Oh, without a doubt, it's already working. You already see it galvanizing the country as it is right now, man. So shout out to Colorado. You're gonna take an L sooner or later. They weren't going. It is still a Cinderella story, and I think they still have a lot more success ahead of them. We'll just see how they do against USC. The eyes of the world will continue to be on them, no matter what the outcome is, because of the history that's being made there. So, you just
Like
said
K
that's what
Dizzle.
our coaches are afraid of. Deion getting recruits from a deep talent pool that want to play for
Exactly.
him. And look, that's what we're talking about. That's the fundamental change that we're pulling from those schools that have galvanized and capitalized for
They're
years.
gonna, they're gonna say it's cheating.
They're
At
gonna
the end
say
of the
check.
day, it's a popularity contest. You're gonna go play with Dion because you think it's a portal to the NFL, but
Mhm.
it is. And,
Yep.
and unfortunately, he's got that advantage. So they're gonna have to step up their game and do their very best. But I'm gonna tell you right now, Sal, I was tired of Taylor Swift, but if Kiiddddsss was playing in the NFL, he probably would have had Sexy Red in the booth.
Absolutely not.
But
Absolutely not. You know,
yeah, man.
it's
So
sexy red, but we can do better out here.
Colorado is definitely the talk of the town. They did take a tough loss, but they'll bounce back. I think they'll probably get I see about 7 wins.
7 wins.
Yeah, I see about 7 wins.
How many games they got? 14?
I think they have 10, don't they?
10?
Let's see. Let's pull it up
Gotta have more than that. But why
before
don't
we
you look that
move
up?
on.
You look that up and find that out. While you look that up, okay. If you guys remember, okay, we did a story about the Today Show in which
Uh-uh.
they did a segment. Okay, they did a segment talking about how there was um, a poll online on how many people wash their feet. I don't know if you remember that, but I'm gonna refresh you real quick. The two hosts on the Today Show said, "No, I don't wash my feet. Are you kidding me? That's too much." And so that atrocity continues to live on because we found another similar article, right? I don't get it. How many games did you find it? How many games they got?
12.
12? Okay, they got 12 games. You think they're gonna win 10?
Nah, I said 7.
7 out of 12?
I said 7 or 8 games. I think they're gonna lose to USC.
Okay.
And then they got games like Arizona State can be tough.
Hmm.
I saw Arizona State play yesterday. That can be a tough game. But then they play Stanford, Arizona, you know, UCLA. I think they can probably squeeze some of those games out. So let's see.
Okay. So again, we watched this thing saying, people on today's show don't wash their feet.
Motherfuckers out here leaving half their bodies unwashed, man. I don't know where you got these stories from,
It's
Kiiddddsss. Where
out
you
of
find them?
control that I'm finding these things on the internet, and these things are to be true. These are real conversations. Okay. Now,
Cooking bass with their feet and legs out.
now is the question is, do you really need to wash your legs? Why is this in 2023? This is an article in 2022, but in 2023, this is a real question. Do you really need to wash your legs? I cannot believe I'm saying this out of my mouth. Okay.
I
And
can't
why is
believe
this
you
real?
even entertaining it.
I don't know. Now they said dermatologists weigh in. I'm not even going to do this. He said, "Do you need to wash your legs?" They're shaving count. Sweet baby Jesus.
Oh, speaking of Taylor Swift, I saw that video. She has said on Ellen that she tends to wash her legs when she shaves, and she shaves all the time. Therefore, she washes her legs all the time.
All the time. Okay, thank you, sweet baby Jesus. So
So she wasn't a dirtball.
in this article, it says, okay, it's part of the minimalist movement. Look, it says the bottom line: you don't need the same daily washing that other parts. Your legs don't need the same daily washing that other parts of your body do, such as your armpits. But it's important to make sure they're clean, even if if they've gotten really dirty or sweaty. For the average person, the drip down method, letting soapy water drip down your leg, is enough. But we don't expect this debate over hygiene to go away anytime soon.
Nah, I don't believe in this drip down method. I'm not for a drip down
People of
method.
the universe, okay?
Mm-mm.
People of the universe, wash your body, okay? Take the cloth, okay? Wash your entire body. Wash your feet, wash your legs, wash your arms, wash your neck. Get a little,
Wash it, protect your neck, man.
get a little brush to wash your back. Okay. This is highly uncouth.
Where did this drip down method start? Man, I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't know where I learned, but ever since I was a kid, I had like this routine of how I shower, and it's like it's symmetrical.
You
One arm, next arm,
thank you.
this foot, that foot. It's like it's
Right
symmetric,
leg,
man.
left leg.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna. Why would I leave the bottom out if I'm washing the top? And even with a car, belly button and all, Arizona. I'm
Yo,
telling you, bro. Like if I got a car, I'm not just gonna wash the top of the car and let the residue just drip down. Like, nah, man, we gotta get all the aspects of our body. Don't leave your legs out the shower.
I just
Nah,
people, please, people of the
unacceptable.
world, wash yourself. Please. Please. Let's not even have a debate about it.
Do you
I
have to
don't know.
wash
I don't
your
know.
legs?
Is it a cultural thing?
What are you gonna
I know
do?
when I grew up, and they washed you, they taught you how to wash your entire body.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Taught you how to wash
But
your
what are you
entire body.
doing, Kiiddddsss, in your life to substitute the time that you save from not washing your legs? Like how are you making up for this in other aspects of your life? Like you're not a better person because you saved 10 minutes from not washing your legs.
Not even 10 minutes.
You dirty.
We talk about a whole 45 seconds. The world
Exactly.
speaks on being clean, but they ain't clean out here, boy.
Man, you got people walking around here with dark knees. I look at uh
Dark knees,
crunchy ass necks.
dark knees,
I shouldn't be
irritated
coming upon places on your body that you don't even go upon yourself.
dark-
It's not fair.
They look like
Not
stretch
fair.
marks. It got water stains that look like stretch marks on their back.
This old soap
Water
stains.
They dirt channel. Like, this is crazy, y'all.
Legs got ridgeways, man. Like
I
just
need you to. I need you to. It's crazy that I even had to bring this up. That is, I found somebody brought this article to me, by the way.
it's frustrating. I
It
don't
is.
I don't like it. I don't like that these people really feel like you can leave your feet and your legs out the shower. Like, to what avail? Oh, you made it to work 10 minutes earlier, but your legs are crusty as hell.
That's the same reason why you don't trust everybody food. You get to see these videos online and they got their cats walking all over the countertops, and you just don't trust everybody food. That's the real live stinky leg.
Arizona said doing the stinky leg for real. Now I'm not gonna
Well, that's
sit
wrong.
here. I'm
The
not gonna sit
real
here.
hella stinky leg.
I'm not gonna sit here, Kiiddddsss, and act like I'm gonna be all high and mighty. Like my girl be talking shit to me about lotion and every damn where. She be like, take a minute, just lotion everywhere, not just
Yeah.
be hot, man. I lotion, but not everywhere every single day.
No, lotion everywhere, every single.
It be hot.
Yeah, I don't.
Some I
Look,
ain't gonna hold you. But as far as the washing, oh, we're not even gonna play that game. We're not gonna play that game.
all right, all right. Just don't wear no shorts around me. It's gonna be a problem. All right. Which do you want to tackle some of these other ones here, man? That you put up here.
Man, I don't know if anybody saw we're talking about strikes. A lot of people are taking strikes. It's great
Absolutely.
if you can. Hey,
If you
absolutely,
haven't tried African black soap, give it a try. Absolutely. Absolutely.
absolutely.
Try
But
it.
I think
Different.
my girl got some of that shit too.
Yes, real good stuff for you.
But I'm gonna tell you, man, everybody's striking. I don't know if you've been on strike, Kiiddddsss, but there's been some strikes. Before we get really into the in-depth strike talk,
Hmm.
man, one of my favorite shows were the Parkers, man. And your girl Monique was back at it again. Monique was back at it again. She
Keep bringing
came
up
out.
old stuff, bro.
She came out and she said her and Countess Vaughn ain't get their just due. They did not get their just due for the Parkers, man.
How long that show been off air?
Man, I don't was it syndicated?
What's the
That's what
statute of limitations?
I don't know, man. And why would you come out in 2023 and just talk about it? Poor Countess, I ain't seen her in a long time. I don't even think she's on Tubi.
Is
But
she on Tubi? She might be on Tubi.
but Monique came out as if she was expecting a check. She said, "Yeah, all the writers are on strike, this and that, but why have we not gotten paid for a show that's been running? I guess it was syndicated, but she
Yeah.
wants to be treated fairly. She wants her bread. We'll say UK does. Was Monique tripping again? Is
She
she
said,
trying to get paid more money for something else?"
well, she said that they're trying to explain to her that the show has been on air for 24 years and they ain't make no money.
Mm, mm.
Ain't make no money. Here's this. Um, that it didn't. It was better than definitely was better than Moesha. I will give them that. It was definitely better than Moesha.
Yeah, it was.
But what I will say is it's quite late to the party. Quite late to the party at this point.
To
Okay?
say the least, that's what caught me off
You've
guard.
been in syndication for you show was probably on air for 4 years and it's on syndication for 20. So they gotta be making some type of syndication money. I understand where they probably did not get paid their just due. But I mean, I don't know if there's statute of limitations, but you have nobody that's going to really come to your defense 20 years later because the only reason why we know about it is because it's in syndication. And our kids pulled it up to remember. Oh yeah, I remember that show. Yeah, yeah. It wasn't a Moesha and it wasn't a um, Fresh Prince of Bel Air, but it was a good show that had a little bit of a run. It's too late. I mean, look, I'm not telling you to not go after your money, Moesha. I'm sorry, not Moesha. Monique, I'm not telling you to
My
not
man
go after
called
your
her
money.
Moesha, Mo to the
What I
Mo
am
to
telling
the
you is that's something that you should. I understand you're bringing publicity to it to bring it to the light, but nobody's going to run to your beck and call to be an advocate for you, being as though it's been as long as it is. That's like Ray J coming out saying he ain't getting paid from Moesha. Don't nobody care, because all you want to do is get on with some light yellow Raycons and sell those outside of anything else.
Ray J fucked Moesha up anyway, man.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother story. But the way Monique's walking around talking about this, it's like when you see somebody just broke and they start going through their phone to see if anybody owes them money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You start walking around your house and like scratching your head, like, don't let that motherfucker owe me some.
Don't
Nah, owe me
I
$20.
buy him
Let me go holler.
McDonald's.
Let me go holler at Reg. I know he owe me
Yeah,
like,
buy him McDonald's when we left the club that night.
yeah, man. She talking about some old shit. She was like,
$7.
the Parkers ain't pay us. I swear they ain't pay us. Man, I hope they get it right. I'm not trying to kick Monique at all. If they owe her some bread, give that girl her bread. Countess Vaughn and Monique did their thing on the Parkers, man. I don't want to see my old TV show stars coming out here crying for money like this.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if she hurt for money or what. If you do get some money, Monique, give it to Countess. What she doing? Just pass it on the Countess.
As you see the band director who got tased.
The band director who got tased.
I'm gonna bounce around pause a little
That
bit
right,
because
and
I
I
saw
pulled it up.
I saw a story on CNN and I heard a couple of I saw a couple of videos about it. Dude went hard, man. The visiting band. I think it was at a football game at a school, and the feds told him it was time to pack it up. The band couldn't keep playing. He told him get out of his face. A few
So,
seconds later, he got that bzzz.
so, 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 if anyone knows that has ever gone to an African American high school, this is normal practice. Normal practice where the bands are going to battle each other, even when the game is over. They're going to do a few. They're going to do a few rounds.
Some of those games, the band is the attraction.
Band is the attraction, of course. And so I think you have um, some overzealous police officers who have never experienced an African American high school football game, with the understanding of that these things usually naturally occur. And so this all took place in where, Birmingham, Alabama.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, anywhere in
Hey,
the
where you
southern
don't want to
belt,
be anyway.
anywhere in the southern belt, if you're black and you're doing something that's normal culture to you, and the police get involved, you are bound to get in trouble in some way, shape, form, or
Yeah.
fashion. When you're doing this, and let me pull this thing up because I ain't gonna play the whole.
I just thought it was funny though, man, because I don't want to see anybody get hurt just for playing.
Yeah, let me not put that on. Let me not put that on. Yeah,
But the man did tell him get about my face like 3 times.
yeah,
That shit was hilarious. 'Cause
yes,
they
it did.
told him, they said, pack it up. He's still out there doing his da 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 da.
Mhm.
Got his ass tased, man. But I don't know.
They was trying to clear out a football game. It looks like from the body cam footage, everybody was gone with the exception of the band. The band was doing their thing, and they were, going to be wrapping up soon. I think the antagonization from the officers just fueled them even more. But at the same time, law enforcement tell you to do something. You got to do something, especially when you're in the heart of the Southern Belt. Okay,
Mm.
we all, I think everybody in the North learned what the hat flip was, right? We learned what the hat flip was, but we also know if we are in the South and they get involved, we got to move on because we want to live to fight another day, and that's the truth of the matter. And so, yeah, it sucks. Yeah, it sucks. Was it warranted? Absolutely not. But you got to pick your battles. You got to pick your battles, and understanding that band directors are very very vocal. Um, they are who they are. That's just a battle he lost that day.
And they powerful too, man. You don't want to cut people short when they trying to get out there and show what they've been working on, man. They just out there trying to show love. But what up, Tony? And you know what? If you're just joining us, I'm gonna take a minute to let everybody know, excuse me, that we are on Spotify and iTunes. I had somebody message me on Instagram. We're on the All Dressed Up podcast on Instagram as well. And they say, yeah, man, why don't you guys try getting on Spotify? I said, Shut the fuck up. Don't give me no fucking advice. We are on Spotify, iTunes, and everywhere your podcasts are. So I appreciate you for giving me that advice, but you know, we are there. So if you can't catch us live
Absolutely.
right now, please give it a shot.
Give it a shot. All right. So look, to all band directors in the South, don't do that shit. All right. So look, real talk. One thing that we need to get a hold of before we get really rolling into it, I think, did you start? You didn't start talking about it, but we're gonna get into that middle thing. All right, but before we do, um, UAW, SAG, AFTRA, UPS, Ray and them, Lil Quick,
Everybody striking.
Auntie Jean, everybody going on strike right now. Okay. Everybody is striking right now.
UPS fucked it up for everybody.
Yeah. So, SAG's been on strike for a while. Um, we haven't felt the repercussions because they've had shows, shows in the queue. So we haven't felt it just yet. We'll start to feel it soon. The UAW just started this strike, hitting all the three major American automakers, and they're staggering their stuff so they can make it push it out longer. This is going to have a huge impact. UPS drivers are striking. It's going to have a huge impact on our economy in the midst of the high probability of a recession looming going into the 2024. I mean, I don't know what to say other than corporations will need to start paying their employees.
Yeah, I mean, when you see the labor increase and the demand increase, but the pay doesn't, and then you start to see other, industry or other workers, take their chances at a strike and get paid, you want your just due. And we joked about Monique, but
Mhm.
it's all linear. When people work in these industries for so long and they put their blood, sweat, and tears in it, and you start to look around and see you're not being supported,
Right.
it's time to make a change. And hey, baby, what up? What's up, Shanae? But we saw UPS drivers go on strike. They did get paid from what I was told.
Yeah.
A lot of things were changed for the better. UAW with their strike right now is serious. We're talking about Ford, GM, and Stellantis, which is pretty much the new Chrysler. And what we're talking about is not only are cars not going to be getting shipped to the dealer,
Mhm.
the parts aren't going to be getting shipped to the suppliers as well. So if you don't have all your parts for a car that you're building, the car doesn't get shipped to be sold.
Right.
So you can have thousands and thousands of vehicles sitting at these plants not being sent to the dealer just for missing one or two parts. And that is all conjunction to the strike. And then what happens if you can't get the cars that you want to buy? Now you got to fix your car, right? Because you just can't buy a new car. You got to fix yours. So at this point, Kiiddddsss, as you know, you might not be able to get those parts to fix your car.
So the bigger issue is this: over the past 3 years, corporations have enjoyed record-breaking profits, and they have used those profits in buybacks of their own stocks, bonds, and not into future investments or compensation for their employees, but only compensation for their leaders, for their chairmen,
Their CEOs and
for the
yeah,
CEOs, giving them super large bonuses. And so the UAW, SAG, they all saying, hey, we are in a record season of profits. We need to be in a record season of
hey,
compensation increase. And one of the things that has been struggling with our economy is this: we see the prices of eggs go up, the prices of gas go up, we see
exactly.
the price of everything that we're trying to do, homes, interest rates, automobiles, all that goes up, but our income remains the same. The national minimum wage remains the same, and we're in a time of record profits. If the things continue to keep going up, all it does is continue to widen the gap between the middle class the poverty, and poverty,
Exactly.
and the upper class, and the wealthy. So we're trying to figure out a way to make all this, also all of this on the back of all the bricks lines. Yeah. So we're trying to figure out a way to force the hand of corporations via unions, which is a very few in this country, because they spend money to make sure that they don't coalesce like they did with Amazon. Amazon wanted to unionize.
Right.
They clocked so many of them people in the head, got rid of so many of them folks in the head that the people fell right back in line and say, "Yo, I want to keep my job. I'm not messing with y'all. It sounds great, but I'm not going to be in the forefront because I need to pay my bills." So we are in a big situation where this could send us right into a recession that that could be highly volatile. Highly volatile. You've got interest rates staying stagnant. You've got home prices that are going to shoot up no matter what. If they start rolling down, interest rates go down, home prices are going to go back up.
Yeah.
Because the supply versus demand is still whacked off. Very low supply, still high demand. And those who aren't in the market will jump in because they have equity because the prices are going up. So it's going to be really hit it out of the park as far as how hard it's going to hit our economy, and it's going to elongate the time when we're going to be able to get back to any semblance of normality, because the pandemic did one thing, and we're doing self-inflicted wounds on ourselves, in both ways, on corporate ways, and the everyday workers just trying to figure out a way to get some type of equality in it. At the end of the day, all we can do is sit back and hope and pray that we got things in order. We got our own house set up, and we got some savings on the side to make sure that we can survive whatever's coming up in the near future, in the next 6 to 9 months, or possibly a year, maybe.
100%.
Um, it's a rough situation, and I think hopefully they'll come to an amicable agreement sooner than later. Probably not, because um, I think corporations, and I saw one guy on X. I know I'm going a little long. I saw one guy on X. Let me read this before I do. Tony says, and the fact that they are always threatening a government shutdown, it never happens. But what if it does happen? Right now, I didn't even talk about that, Tony, because we don't really get into politics, but I don't
Right.
even talk about a government shutdown that's looming by the end of this month, because we got a lot of crazy people in Congress who actually want to do those things.
And
So,
they're waiting on, the solutions or the resolutions to things like this right now as we speak.
mhm,
You know, plan B is gonna come right behind whether or not, if there is a full-fledged strike that continues. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it's inevitable for that type of shutdown to occur. And conveniently it happens around the same time of the year.
yeah,
Every time every time we talk about it.
it's politics on that end. It's 100% politics on that end. So, we've got so many things coming into a head at once. I think it should be a call to action for everyday Americans, middle class Americans that are semi okay. You need to pull back and start holding on to your money, saving it, putting it in places so that you can be able to weather the storm, because the storm is coming, and it's going to be a tough one. It's not going to get any cheaper, and we just need to be able to ride it out. Look to purchasing gold and silver in your portfolio. Put that money somewhere if you can, because anytime this happens, all right, I am not a financial advisor. I'm not giving you financial advice, but what I do know is that anytime a recession hits, the stock market tumbles, prices go down. So if you have some money that you can put aside to invest and buy those stocks while they are low, they will rebound and go back high, and you can get that return on investment when things change. So um, that's the only thing I can tell you, as a person in the middle class myself, working family, 6 kids, 4 kids, Jesus, is to figure things out, hold some money to the side, and just try to ride us out as best as you can. Ride it out as best
But
you
well,
can.
the sad thing is, a lot of us over the years have, come from situations where we didn't have much.
Mhm.
So just learning money and understanding what the value of currency is still, abstract to a
Mhm.
lot of people. And just like Wild Boar said, look to purchase gold and silver for your portfolio. It's profound because our cash notes aren't backed by any value.
Right.
And that's a whole nother conversation. But you know, we're definitely gonna start talking more and more about financial literacy, I think, as a whole, us on this show and in other projects, because that's definitely where it is. And the more you can understand what K Dizzle was talking about, the scariest thing right now that's looming over us that we don't really pay attention to is the gap between the middle class and the wealthy and the
Oh,
poor. Like you said, you hit it on the head, and then we'll move on. The middle class pretty soon might be millionaires. That's how much inflation and the cost of everything is driving up. You're gonna see so many people making 600, $700,000 a year and not even living like they make 600, $700,000 a year. So definitely something to look into or to pay attention to. And Shanae
sooner or
says the
later,
information
sooner or
is
later,
available.
sooner or later, like you said, that may be the middle class.
Yeah,
The middle
exactly.
class maybe $300,000 and up. Everybody else is in poverty just because of the cost of things. And in our economy and how things are pushing forward because there's a stagnant wage increase going on. But
So
we
speaking
can.
on that, Kate, there's a real quick, not to cut you off, but Shanae's in the chat. She says the information is available. We just have to seek it.
Mhm.
We are gonna be having a person come on soon. I know I'm gonna be talking to you about meeting with him. Very financial literate, business savvy gentleman involved in real estate and a lot of investments. So I think that is definitely a wave that the ADU podcast is gonna be, you know, putting some attention on.
Sure, sure. So we can, that's something that's what we can really dig deep in and go into. But it's important that we talk about it, in tidbits here and there.
Yeah.
So look for that coming really, really, really soon. I can go in ham on that, but let's let's really get into the deep dive before we both out of here. Good God, we just been rolling. Get
We
into
rocking tonight, man.
if you saw what the episode title was, okay, hopefully you weren't offended because it's just what it is. Sometimes you just say, man, hug them kids. Just, just, and have to bring this to me. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna let you clear the air on how we're gonna approach this tonight, and what the title of it's gonna be as far as the deep. Go ahead, baby.
Nah, so before we get into it, man, go ahead and put the number up because you guys know the All Dressed Up podcast is all about chopping it up with everybody who comes out and spends time with us. So please text 301-857-1757 to join the conversation. So who cannot ask better than the man K Dizzle DC himself? And of course you guys in the chat because my life's been changing over the past, I just say daily. My life changes daily now. And one focal point of my life, well, not just one, but a major focal point is my addition to my house. And I'm not talking about the new TV
Or the new couch.
or the new mattress. But my bundle of joy that I post all the time. If you guys follow me on social media, if you know me personally, I'm always talking about my baby. And that's what I wanted to bring up tonight. How much does the new baby, the new bundle of joy, the new addition to your family change or affect your relationship?
Mm,
And something that I've been living with daily, trying to learn myself and figure out, my baby every day about this topic, as we go along. But it's definitely something that I don't think we drew plays up for. We definitely talked about how we wouldn't like to be when we had gotten pregnant. You know what I'm saying? And we talked about preparing, our lives for the next steps of being a mom and dad. Speaking of my girl Shanae.
mm.
But now since Nova is here, it's like, what do you do, K Dizzle, when she just takes and demands any and everything from your girl? And I know you can tell me some good information because you got 5 kids, right?
Stop putting extras in me, bro. Don't
Four.
put some extras on me. I got four.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, you good. You good.
So with that being said, you got four beautiful daughters, and I just wanted to talk to the chat. Like I'm experiencing, still trying to be myself, still trying to do the best that I can do as far as being the man in my relationship with my girl. But I'm just noticing that she's just becoming a super mom every day. She became, a superwoman when she had Nova. And sometimes I sit back and I'm like, what about me? But a lot of it is for me and it's for us. So Arizona says it changes a lot. What were some of the things you realized first, Kiiddddsss, when you had your first daughter when it came to your relationship?
So there are some similarities with everybody's relationship, and there's some very dark, very big contrast when you're talking about it too. Because I asked this question too on a lot of my social media outlets, and first thing was I became more broke than I ever been. I got comments like, "Man, I should have wore a Jimmy hat like my grandmama told me." Um, Another guy told me I created cock blockers. So I mean, it's a first and foremost, if it doesn't transform you internally, um, then you gotta reevaluate yourself.
Yeah.
Because once that child hits, once it breathes its first breath of air, your life from there is completely changed, and how you think, and hopefully how you act, because now your ideas and your decisions are should be solely based on improving the life uh, that this child that's here now can live, that it be better than yours, because that's what all parents want. All parents want their child to have a better life than they did growing up,
100%.
have everything that they want. But like you said, there come the challenges of how much your relationship has changed dynamically with your spouse, because having a kid breaks up some relationships, having a kid brings some relationships together, and most importantly, having a kid brings out the things that have never come out before, that need to be discussed and actually need to be worked out in the relationship.
Mm.
One of the first things, the biggest things that you learn early and often is how to parent and discipline your child, right? Because you come from a different house, they come from a different house, and then now we got to figure out what's best for us. It's going to work out, right? Because you could be that soft parent, and they could be that hard one. Say, figure it out when they're 2 months old. You're like, whoa, 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 that's a 2 month old baby. Hold on. Wait a minute. This ain't I had to do that because I was 2 months. I was paying bills when I was 2 months. I don't want my baby doing that, because it just that dynamic in itself. But the other part is how much of a strain it puts on the relationship,
Right.
because now, um, a mother and their maternal instincts are going to spend 110% time on ensuring that baby is well taken care of, and which can in turn leave them leave the male out of the equation, and it's not done purposefully. It's not even thought of, right? Because now their whole attention is on making sure that baby's right, making sure they're good. And sometimes that attention takes away from the man, and the man gets upset, because now it's that dynamic. Now it's a mother and daughter. Now it's a father and daughter, a father and son, mother and son. What happened to father and mother, right?
Well, you run into the situation of just realizing certain things are changing
Mhm.
without you preparing for them to change. And it's like you it makes sense that it's changed in those ways, and we can break it down. We kind of jumped in this deep dive late, but you start to think like, well, how long is this gonna be this way?
Mhm.
And that's kind of what I'm talking about. Like when you ask your partner or yourself, like, okay, how long are we gonna be in this situation? And the question's loaded because sometimes I've got an answer from, Shanae personally, where she says, she's still trying to figure out herself.
Right.
And those are the answers that are scary
Mhm.
because you really don't have control as the partner. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to give that person their space and respect for them to be able to find themselves. But it's kind of like, on just to keep it real, I've actually said, I miss my baby. I miss my girl. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? Because I can just tell she's so worn thin because she's been with Nova all day.
Hmm.
She's worked from home. She's still done dishes, still done laundry, still done so many things around the house. And as you know, and a lot of people know me, I'm working, most of the day. So when I get home, I'm still trying to get the same feel that I had with my girl in our relationship. But obviously, she might not be in that same mental space because she just endured her entire day
Right.
with the baby. So I think we got somebody in the background, like you say, K Dizzle.
Hmm. Yeah. Definitely in the background. What I will say is this: um, the biggest thing is
Did
when
we
you
get somebody text in?
you have to figure out, because one person is giving 100, both the people are giving 100%, 110% to whatever's going on within that relationship. Oh, she in there. What's up? You put her up in
I've
there.
been waiting for a minute. Can
Okay.
y'all hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Who are
Oh,
you? Who are you on the All Dressed Up podcast talking about? You've been waiting for a minute this evening.
hi, babe.
All right, what's up, babe? How you doing, Sinead? Welcome
7 minutes,
to the All Dressed Up
26.
podcast.
Podcast. Talk your stuff, darling.
No, I was like, I'm just agreeing with Kermit because, like I said, I was waiting for a minute. So Kermit pretty much said everything that I was gonna say. But I just think that from a woman's standpoint, I
Mhm.
think the other partner, whether male or female, if you've just carried a baby for 9 months and delivered that child, whether it was vaginally or by C-section, like that other person just needs to be patient. There's no time limit on when things will get back to the new normal because I think it'll never go back to the way it was because there's a whole new factor involved. There's a child.
Right,
So I think it's going to take time to get back to the new normal, and that time is different for every couple, every relationship.
right.
But as a woman who had a baby, like your body changed, your
Hmm.
mind changed, like everything changed for you, and it's just like now you have to figure out, okay, I have to get back to myself, but at the same time, it's a new me. It's the mom me, but
Right,
I still want to have time for me, but I
right,
still also have to make time for my spouse.
right.
Like it's a lot.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things I was about to go into, because there's a couple different dynamics that go into when a woman has a child, because like you said, it changes you internally. Because now not only are you a woman, but you're a mother, and you are a spouse before, but also even after the pregnancy, you want to get back to a certain amount of semblance of how you feel about yourself, right? At the same token, with that dynamic, you need time, he needs time, the baby needs time. You have to figure out, how can I how can I divide my time up, both of us, that gives space for each of us to continue those things that we had before, right? So that goes into, on your side, have saying, okay, well, yes, I work 12 hours, but now I have to put in the extra effort to come home and take the baby away, so to give her some time so she can have on her own. Even though it may take a time away from my decompression time, I still have to factor that in, because as a woman and as a child, as a woman who has a small child, or even children, they never get time to breathe. They don't, because you're a mom 24/7, 365. They never get time to breathe. And so for the man, he has to acknowledge that and take the time to move, to allow them that time to breathe, so they can get some things, so they can get their own space, and be able to breathe a little bit and come back to it and come a little more rejuvenated. That way, what that's going to allow is that time of decompression, right? We all need that time of decompression to come in and just breathe a little bit, sit back and just relax for a minute, gather our bearings, and then come back to life as it stands. Because life is really nonstop. And if we don't give each other that time and space to do so, we don't trade those things off. Like, because there's time where she gives you, where she allows you to do your thing. She doesn't come bother you. She'll come make you food, aid and assist you. Hey, do your thing. This is for you. Come see me when you're done. Right? That same thing needs to apply to her. Hey, I'll take the baby. Go do your thing. Come see me when you're done. Go hang out. Go come see me when you're done. Because we all need that same. We all need a little bit of wiggle room, some freedom to be able to decompress and be able to come back.
Absolutely. And the toughest part that like I can speak on myself is like when I have a long day to where I feel like I'm overworked, and then we finally meet at the end of both of our long days.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because Shanae, she's been grinding all day, and I finally get the opportunity to see her,
Hmm.
and I'm missing the old decompression, like you
Oh, yeah.
said. And it doesn't start there because we still might have bad time with the baby.
Hmm.
We might have to finish up dinner, and you know it probably won't be the same.
No,
And that's the I guess the I don't think I should say you got to accept it, but I think you just have to evolve.
correct.
You got to evolve with the change in the relationship. And it seems like both Shanae and myself, we want to still feel those things that we felt before we had Nova, but obviously it's not going to be exactly the same because
Mhm.
there's a whole different person involved in the equation. So it's just very interesting because I'm curious to see how people deal with it because I know we're not the only people that do.
Oh,
And
not
you
at all.
and you did it 4 times.
Yeah, not at all. And
I know a lot of couples who break up before that baby even turns one. And before I had a child, I didn't understand it. But now that I have a child, I understand how it can put so much strain on your relationship that
yeah,
you call it quits.
yeah,
But like I said, it's different for everyone. Like for me, like I was just tired all the time. Nova just started sleeping through the night 2 weeks
mhm,
ago. She's 19 months. So it was a lot of nights of me getting up and then Marcus looking for me to have the energy to be the old Malika the next day, which I
right,
don't. I just got up 3 times in one night and
right,
still had to deal with a baby all day and have my emotions be controlled by this little human that I just gave birth to.
right, right. So it's a long road ahead
Hmm.
to get it to really, because here's what we're trying to do. We want that old thing back, right? We want that time together back. We want to feel what we felt. We want to do what we do when we want to do it. But now that we have a kid there, it changes everything. They're 100% the priority. At
Mhm.
the same time, we got to figure out a space in between. Like Arizona Ron said, I believe a kid will make and break a relationship because now it is a certain amount of selflessness
Yeah.
has to go within that. You got to understand that now my time is it's no longer 50-50. Now it's 25, 25, 25, 25. Right? It's cut up into it's shattered into pieces. But we still have to make time. We still have to make time to have that what we had. And it's all about scheduling it, and it's all about being cognizant of how the other person feels in those moments. And you got to be able to come. You got to be able to come home and read the room. Right?
Yeah.
You got to be able to come home, read the room, acknowledge what's going on, acknowledge how she feels, and then pick it up. No, regardless of how you feel, you got to pick it up and run with it. And the same thing, Malika. You got to be able to read the room too. If you already know what he looks like when he's in a certain way, based on how the day went, got to be able to read the room too as well. But it's harder than Chinese arithmetic. It is.
It almost gets to a point to where you know one almost tries to close the other on whose plight was tougher that day.
Yeah, and you're never going to win. You're never
Exactly.
going to win.
And that's a pointless argument.
You're never going to win. You're not always going to get it right. Look, okay, counselor kids. No, you're never going to win. You're not always going to get it right. And I'm only speaking from, yeah, I've got 4 kids, but there's a ton of shit that I done messed up. I
Hmm.
mean, there there was a lot of times we will be celebrating 17 years worth of marriage, right? And it took a very long time to get into a comfortable space where we can say, okay, we're good, right? Okay, we're good. And that was not early on, and it was not in the middle. It was
Mm,
it was later on. And that's why anytime that I talk about relationships and anytime that I talk about um those type of things, the one thing I always talk about is trust and communication.
yeah.
If you don't have absolute trust and you can't speak openly and communicate your feelings effectively, it will always fall apart quicker than a souffle on a Sunday afternoon
Mm,
with the game on, right? So it's going to take time. You're not always going to get it right, but you always got to come back to the main thing, which is yes, we love each other and we're going to figure this thing out. Somebody's going to have to be the bigger person at some point. It's going to go back and forth, back and forth. Sometimes it might feel like you're doing it all the time. Sometimes it might feel like they're doing it all the time. You just got to pick and choose your battles and know that hey, we're going to do everything we can for our daughter. We're also going to do everything we can for us because we love each other. We believe in what that is going to work, and we're here to see it to the end. So, look, kids throw a huge wrench in the game. What they do is they really make you grow up quick.
yeah.
They make you grow up quick, and they also make you understand what you have in your partner, right? The reason why they break relationships because you really see what your partners is not only bringing to the table, but what is important to them, and you'll see that as the things go along. And if you say, okay, because that's when couples usually say, all right, this is not what I'm looking for in my partner. This is not what I'm looking for in a relationship or in a partnership moving forward because you didn't see all those things beforehand. Now the kid is here, and now it's all coming out, coming to fruition.
Well, the toughest part is, when some of those actions occur, if you're not reading the situation correctly, or if you're just going through one of your moments, you know, you tend to get that resentment. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I'm like, all right, babe, let me slow down. Let me figure out what I'm doing right now because obviously I'm not reading the room or I'm not doing what I need to be doing to help the situation because I don't want my girl to resent me because I'm coming up short on the division of labor with the baby. You know what I'm saying? Or just anything because you feel like again, oh well, I did this and I did that, so like I deserve this type of time off or time to myself, and it's not that same dynamic.
Right.
So you just got to roll with it and evolve with it. So
And I'm gonna tell you something, okay? I'll give you an example, right? You're doing all the things right. You're coming home, you're taking care of the baby, and you're making time. You might cook dinner, you might do the laundry, you might do all these things where you're like, okay, yeah, yeah, okay, this is Thursday. I know it's coming, right? I know it's coming. I know we good on the night, and it just don't happen.
right.
Now you in your feelings. Now you ready to blow the hell up. You ready to blow the hell up. You ready to tear the curtains off, or just run the streets. That's
She upstairs snoring like thank you.
that's it's going to happen. It's going to be those times, it's going to be those moments because it's never in it. I always say this. Anytime a situation arises where somebody's upset, never really about you.
Right.
It's never really about you. It's always about something else or something going on. Because women are women, they're not able to most women aren't able to compartmentalize as well as men are. We go home, we go to work, we compartmentalize that stuff at work, we come home and we already thinking about other things, right? Women deal with X, Y, and Z, A, B, and C, and it could still be in their brains even when they get to the bed, and it'll affect them in a way that they don't want to do anything else. So um, it's going to happen. It's going to be a part of it. Gotta you gotta wade the water through it. You really gotta wade the water through it and pick your spots. Mike says, I agree. You just have to do the best you can do. It is hard, but it can be rewarding and it goes fast. That's the big thing.
That is the big thing
Goes
because
fast.
even now, Mike, I see in Kiiddddsss, I see just in those days when I'm away at work for 12 hours and I get back with Nova and she's doing and saying a whole bunch of new stuff
Mm,
just after a day. And it's like you don't want to take this time and just be so frustrated because we're tired, we're working and taking care of her. But this is the only time that we're gonna have this experience. So
Mhm.
I definitely don't want to rush, my child out the door, to school, to high school already. Like I want to enjoy this time, but
Mhm.
still be able to enjoy my relationship.
Yeah,
And that's why I wanted to come to the All Dressed Up podcast and talk about it because it's a very real topic in my life.
yeah,
And I realize that a lot of people have gone through it.
yeah, and I appreciate your vulnerability on sharing because, and I'm glad I can speak from a point of experience. And look, I can tell you all the great stuff in the world, but when it hits, it's gonna hit like a ton of bricks. And hopefully, when it hits, you can think back and say, "Okay, all right, this
Right.
is the shit he was talking about. I just gotta eat it, and I'll figure it out." No, it's a thing about just figuring out and doing the best you can do. That's true with everything within life, especially when you're talking about because you only doing the best that you can do,
Mhm.
and you only learn from experience, like we talked about. My youngest now is 13, and now I'm looking at all right. I don't have kids anymore. I have young teenagers. And so now my mindset is completely different on how I operate with because I know that now my time, like my 100% full time with them, going to be extremely limited because now in a few years, when they decide to do whatever they want to do, they're going to be out on their own. I'm not going to force them out, but they're going to do their own thing and make their time comes. And all I can do now is just impart as much as I humanly can and just try to make sure that I made the best humans possible in this world. And they have enough smarts to make it through without getting, you know, make it through life as as best as they can, if that makes
100%.
so, but yeah, man, look, I love conversations like this because it's real world stuff that happens that we're trying to figure out and deal with as growing people, as growing humans, as adults. Because we didn't talk about this stuff. I don't know. There was never a place we can go out and have this outlet and have these conversations. The only time we learned about this is after we had kids,
Right.
right? After we had kids, and most people, especially if you had kids young. So I love that we can share this. We put this out in the world so that people can go back and listen to it and actually learn something. Hopefully, they share it and teach some other people that and enroll from there. So, look, um, I knew we was going to go over time because I
Yeah.
knew we kind of went heavy into it. But I love it. I appreciate your vulnerability again, Malika. I love you, sis, for coming in, speaking your part on it, and we are going to be continuing the conversation. I know next 2 weeks, the next one's gonna be lit because that's episode 90. We're gonna have some crazy stuff going in there. But I love y'all too. Tell them where they can find us, Hef.
Hey man, the Instagram channel is popping. It's the All Dressed Up podcast. We're on YouTube and Facebook. Please look us up. Our episodes are live on the first and third Sundays at 9 o'clock. We are on Spotify and iTunes and anywhere you can find your podcast for everybody that wants to tell me where we should be. We're there. Just come get us. Just come check us, man. Kiiddddsss DC is everywhere. 14th ENT is streaming. He is also on Twitch with some great content coming. The Climbback series is also in full force. I just dropped episode 2. Man, we're everywhere, man. We're growing, and it's because of you. We appreciate you guys. We joke a lot, but it is about your support. So stick with us so we can keep it going.
Absolutely, man. If you got anything you want to share, any ideas on future shows, all just that podcast at gmail.com. Go check out our YouTube channel. It's blowing up. We got over 100 subs. I'm excited about that. I know people like thousands and all that. We celebrate the small wins. We're going to keep pushing, keep rolling, keep making this great content, and most importantly, keep having these captivating conversations with you guys because we do it for you. We love what we do. We appreciate your time because you could be anywhere else. You could be watching that whack ass game right now, but you're here talking with us. We love y'all. We'll check y'all in 2 weeks, man. Take care.
And and I know, and they know, and we know, we go all in, I know. They know. 'Cause we know. We go all